Here's an older article from IGN, but it's been a fefew months since Red Dead actually came out, and I've been wanting to cover this article, but I've just forgotten to do so. But it's an interesting article. The headline says Red Dead Redemption 2's Black Cowboys are important. Now this implies that we have to have representation even in this era, even though it makes uh, when it makes no sense in the historical sense. The sub headline says Cowboys weren't all just gruff white dudes. Released in 2010, instantly became a classic, but while trying to evoke the best parts of an age-old genre, the open-world western failed to address some of video games' worst habits. Rockstar's sequel, however, looks like it's already set up to make a positive difference. Rockstar has always pushed the limits of gaming with absurdity, bravado, and parodic social commentary. They inflate real-world social issues to a point that's comical, and then bury them with a snappy dialogue and hyper-violence. The first Red Dead Redemption strayed away from that standard and took a more serious perspective, and it worked. It was a gritty gunslinging, genre-defining game that aced the feel of being a gruff white cowboy at the end of the chaotic Wild West. The time-altering dead-eye mechanic and powerful plot combined to create an unforgettable world of dusty desperados, a world that felt like a general video game realization of classic Hollywood Western. Now, this isn't actually that bad a take compared to the headline, but let's continue. It's a great game, but it also forgot about many historically accurate but glossed over experiences of the time, including racism, slavery, and the importance of black people in the late 19th century. Oh, here we go with the woke take. You know, not everything has to be political, and this is IGN we're talking about. Why is someone from IGN trying to insert political issues in a video game that just wants to have a period piece, which Red Dead Redemption really is? Get politics out of my media, and we continue to have these NPCs that want politics for any price, just to have it in a game. And when we have the stuff, as we saw, I even made a video on my own channel where you can punch feminists. Oh, they're suddenly outraged when you get equal representation and politics in these games. They don't like it. It's very ironic. If Red Dead Redemption 2 unpacks the virtual untapped ROM of black experience. Oh my god. That's quite a sentence. If Red Dead Redemption 2 unpacks the virtually untapped ROM of black experiences in the Wild West, it will be a feat above and beyond playgrounds and compelling narratives Rockstar already excels at. According to whom? According to whom? The only one who is saying this is you. Most people don't give a damn about the races in a game. They want a good or a great game instead of buying a game that has representation that you want. This is just so stupid. Seriously, this is stupid. Let's continue the article then. The romantic version of the West, often featuring only white people, and stereotypes of Native American and Hispanic people have dominated pop culture. According to whom? Citation needed. Those Wild West tropes have festered in pop culture for years, making people think that all cowboys were white men, and I believe that's unquestionably false. Historians agree that black people made up 1/4 of all cowboys, but in Red Dead Redemption 1, the only black characters were bounties that you hunted down or NPCs with forgettable one-liners, and it's unfortunate and uncomfortably common that black people are cast aside in a culture that they help create. Okay, first of all, you are a white character, so all the other characters by default are NPCs. So what the hell is this guy talking about? I just had to cut for time, but I actually read the article in question, and the issue with the 1 in 4 cowboys, which they quoted from Smithsonian.com, and it doesn't actually say that 1 in 4 were actually cowboys. It said that 25% of the population of Texas were slaves, and then it rose to 30% at one point. So that is actually a complete lie. You are fake news, IGN. So that is actually a lie, and the article only uses anecdotal evidence of people who were black in that period who either escaped or got a job as a cowboy. And I believe there were 6 cowboys they used in the article as proof. So yeah, cowboys existed that were black, they were free at that times, or what was the United States. But that doesn't mean that it's a complete false statement and actually lying from what Smithsonian said. Encouragingly, we know Red Dead Redemption 2 will feature at least a few prominent black characters, including perhaps most notably Lenny, a member of a Dutch Vanderland's infamous group. Lenny's quick spotlight in the teaser and gameplay trailers gave us a glimpse of what could possibly be proper racial representation. Again, with this proper representation, this is garbage. We aren't completely sure how much of an impact he'll have on the narrative, but the sheer fact that he's named part of the main motley crew gives us some hope. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, and this was before the game came out, and they're setting the hopes that black people are represented in this game, even though this guy hasn't even played the game yet. Again, why does race matter so much in media and entertainment? Stories by the fire, like the countless stands in the building of America, black contributions during the age of cowboys weren't properly documented. It's again, you have to cite your claims. It's disheartening that many of these stories, the black cowboy, have been lost in time due to ignorance. No, you just quoted Smithsonian, and they have a documented truth of black cowboys. It's because maybe people don't care what color they were. Like seriously, have been lost in time due to ignorance, bigotry, and racism. Jesus. It's even more depressing that the stories that are available are still barely ever told. Can you think of a black cowboy in pop culture that isn't Django from Django Unchained, or that guy from Holes? I mean, we have Blazing Saddles. I mean, Magnificent Seven used Asians and as Billy the Kid, for example. I mean, there are plenty of stories that would be interesting. Again, the only biggest that I can think of that think of race all the time are the racists, the SJWs, the NPCs. It's hard. Historically, we prefer to tell the truth. Prefer to tell the same old gritty white stories, starring the same old Clint Eastwood-looking dudes, sprinkled with the same old tasteless stereotypes. It's outdating and boring, and we desperately need something original. Speak for yourself. Jesus. Speak for yourself, dude. Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place 12 years before the original game. The Wild West during the time was full of elements we would think were reprehensible now that hurt countless groups, most specifically the drastic mistreatment of Native Americans, women, and African American atrocities. You know, there were black people and Native Americans and women that have done mistreatment and reprehensible things. Why are you talking about these things? You're supposed to be a gaming website, not a political outlet bashing a 19th century US. What the hell is this? Jesus. Recently, Rockstar released several character cards diving into the personality and backgrounds of some of Red Dead Redemption's 2 key figures. Lenny has him posted with a shotgun saying, "Live free out here like this. I wouldn't have it any other way." This quote is a hint to Lenny's past and could be a reference to slavery. There's a lot of claims and just assumptions. So it's been an interesting and accurate move. Many of the black people in America during the Wild West were born slaves, escaped, and then made a new life as cowboys. Miners, lawmen, saloon keepers, editors, farmers, and more. The fact that you could possibly be playing alongside a liberated slave and experience the context is incredible. A major stride into the You know, you can take a history class or read a book if historical accuracy is so goddamn important to you in a game. Like, there are alternate routes you can take. You're basically putting the onus on Rockstar to be historical accurate when it's a fictional setting. Or not a fictional settings, fictional characters in a historic setting. We need more of that. Imagine a video game realization of African American like Ned Huddlestone, aka Calico Cowboy, a black man born a slave, who eventually became a well-known stunt rider, gang member, and a bronco buster with unparalleled rodeo skills. Or playing as a rough and tough stagecoach Mary, the black woman who was the fastest male courier in the West and said to have broken the most people's noses in central Montana. According to her local newspaper, what if Red Dead Redemption's 2 Lenny was a fictionalization of Nat Love, one of the most famous black sharpshooting cowboys. He was one of the few people talented enough to live the full life of a cowboy and then archive all of his escapades in an autobiography. That's just a small taste of the plethora of black trailblazers tales Rockstar could riff off and adapt into the digital world. Why? You're making your point for yourself. I mean, if you're really interested in history, you could read that autobiography or read history. This is so goddamn stupid. Why are you putting on the onus on Rockstar to tell these stories? Video games shine when they tell untold stories in new ways and take chances. Battlefield 1's dedication to personal stories and human tragedy honed into a history that's often glossed over and glorified. In doing so, Battlefield 1's campaign created a fascinating path that strayed away from the annual military shooter repetitive style. Again, that's just an assumption and a claim. That's your own opinion. Jeez, DICE shook up the standard shooter or way of storytelling. From what we see from Battlefield 5, it looks like they're going to try that again. Yeah, and it was garbage. They basically made all white people like they're evil, and that women and minorities were awesome. They were morally superior and just better. We need more modern developers. Why do we need that? We need more modern developers and publishers to try out unexpressed narratives, because the stories that'll come out them will be refreshing and stimulating. According to yourself, this is just a claim again. Get woke, go broke. I mean, look at Battlefield 5. They did exactly what you said they should do, and the sales tanked. Every time these developers and publishers try to go that NPC route, it fails hard. They crash and burn so hard. And unrepresented marginalized experience are ripe with unexplored stories that are normally ignored in favor of retelling the typical white male. Jesus freaking Christ. You really hate white men, especially white people and white men. Few AAA games are bold enough to mention the constant discrimination and marginalization black people endure across the globe, save for Mafia 3 or Watch Dogs 2. Jesus. But Rockstar has the influence, tools, and I believe the courage to change that. Red Dead Redemption 2 is primed to help normalize a conversation about racing games. Again, that's your claim, that's your assertion, that's your opinion. You can't. Why does an IGN approve these garbage articles? The Wild West was a racially charged and erratic environment, and it was also one of the primary outlets for black people to escape slavery during their time. They adopted to the rustic lifestyle, all while being demeaned, degraded, and discredited. Even in a post-slavery society, racism was still highly prevalent. Abolishing laws doesn't instantly change minds. African American cowboys had to do far more than their white counterparts to get a shred of recognition. Again, I could probably assume that's the case, but you have to also cite, give me citations. From doing the grunt work on cattle drives to do the dirtiest jobs on the ranch, all of the effort went towards recognition that wasn't even guaranteed to go down history. These are, I mean, most people don't go down in history. So, these are unique stories of the mistreatment that real people faced and the perseverance that had to have pushed through it all. There are important narratives that showcase problems that echo into modern society, and we need to see them, since Rockstar has already proven their ability to tell insightful tales underneath the wacky brand of nonsensical action. It wouldn't be that outlandish to them to take another step in the right direction and address the racial tensions of Wild West and Red Dead Redemption 2. And here we have the final paragraph. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a remarkable experience, and I reminisce about the satisfying gameplay, vast open world, and weighty stories often. Yeah, so why does do you use most of this article to just claim that we need a race and we need to tell these people that are marginalized? You use these gender studies arguments and say that everyone else has to adhere to them because you want. Who would even buy those games? The SGWs and NPCs don't buy these games. Seriously. But I can never shake down how demoralizing it was not seeing a single black person in the game that meant anything to the plot. Seriously, if you put so much worth into a game where you didn't see a black person, then you have to re-evaluate your goddamn life. Seriously, this is just one game. If you think it's that important, play Battlefield 5, play Watch Dogs 2, play Mafia 3, and just play those games. Buy those games. Don't get them through your connection through IGN. You're a coward and a hypocrite. The people call black cowboys the forgotten man of the West. Who, according to whom? There is no citation here. Because of how often they get cheated out of history and popular culture. Since Red Dead is a series that is at its core about redemption, it would be extremely fitting for Rockstar to recognize the absence of these stories and a missed opportunity. Acknowledge the significance African Americans had in the Wild West and feature some cool black cowboys with sensational stories. Yeah. And we got through this garbage of an article. Now, if you really want to, thank you for if you have listened so far into this video. I know it's a longer video, but this is a representation of gaming journalism. And I mean, they're saying the exact same thing that journalism in general is saying. We've said this since 2014. So I just wanted to cover this story, even though it's an older story. I'm gonna link it if you just wanna read it for yourself, or leave a comment in the comment section of this. But this just shows how gaming journalism is such garbage. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.